I am Ritika Bajpayee, Assistant Professor at Access Institute of Planning and Management, Kanpur. In this lecture, we will understand the types of business environment. As in the last lecture, we have seen that what are the importance of business environment, how it helps a business to lead and succeed in the dynamic environment. So, we will see the types in detail. Business environment is basically divided into two parts. One is internal environment and other is external environment. Internal environment is something that is connected internally to the organization. As you can see, the value system, management structure, human resources of the organization, company image and brand value of organization, physical asset and facilities, research and development, intangibles and competitive advantage. These are all the factors or the components which are internally connected to an organization, or we can say that these factors are under the control of organization. Organization decides its value system by itself. The management structure is also decided by the organization. The human resources, how organization is going to deal with its human resources, which types of training organization is going to provide, and how it is going for the overall development of the employees, how the organization is going to motivate and sustain the employees. This is all in the hands of organization. Next is company image and brand value. So, the company image and brand value also makes by the contribution of organization, how employees work, the level of quality provided by the company, the level of services. This is all what contributes in building the image and brand value of a company. Physical asset in the facility. The physical asset and the facilities of the organization are also allocated by the organization itself. Next is research and development. If the organization is focusing on its research and development and introducing new products, new services according to the changes in the environment, it can lead to the success of environment. So, so how much an organization is going to invest on the research and development is in the hands of organization. Next is intangible. The intangible assets like the copyrights of organization and all these things are also arranged by the organization itself. And last is competitive advantage. Competitive advantage is a term, is actually a phenomenon that is very important for the organization, and it is totally in the hands of organization that in which area it wants to build this competitive advantage. This competitive advantage is also known as the USP sometimes. This is basically something, USP, it stands for the unique selling proposition. Competitive advantage is something that your competitors cannot copy. You are the only one in the market who is expert in a particular area, or with a particular you are having that expertise only in the market, that is competitive advantage. So, these all are the factors of internal environment, and these are internally related to the organization, and these are in the hands of business organization. How company wants to build its image in the market is in the hands of business. What is going to be the competitive advantage of companies, again going to be the task of company. So, next is external environment. After, there are two parts, internal and external environment. After internal environment, we will see external environment. External environment is again divided into two heads, the micro environment and macro environment. Under the micro environment, the components like supplier, customer, competitor, market intermediaries, financiers and publics come. Macro and micro environment are said to be the internal environment, like they are not under the control of business. But if we talk about the micro environment particularly, it is under the control of business to some extent. In further slides, we will see that how a business can control the micro environment. So, suppliers who supplies raw material to the business comes under this, and next is customers of the business who are using the product or the services of business. Next is competitors of that particular business who are dealing with the same products and services in the market. Next is market intermediaries, who are the firms which are directly and indirectly related to the business, and financiers and public. Now, let us see the macro environment factors. Under the macro environment, the factors like economic, political, legal, technological, global, social, cultural and demographic factors used to lie, and these components are said to be a area which is outside the control of business organization. A business cannot control the upcoming changes in the economy. A business cannot business cannot have any idea what decision a political party is going to take. Whatever the technological changes are coming in the way, business cannot predict it. Once it becomes once it is introduced in the market, then business can observe it. It can become a competitive advantage as well. It can business can take the first mover advantage by identifying these changes, but this is not in the hands of business. A business cannot control whatever the changes are coming in these factors. Global factors, socio-cultural factor and the demographic factors, these all factors are not in the hands of business. So, this chart is actually telling a brief about the types of business environment: internal, external. Under internal, we have seen the components. External is again divided into two parts: micro environment and macro environment. And now we will see the factors which are coming under the internal environment. Internal environment. Factors comprises of internal environment are generally regarded as controllable factors because the company has control over those factors and it can alter or modify such factors as its personnel, physical assets, organizational and functional means such as marketing mix to suit the environment. A company, as I have earlier said, that these are the components or the factors which are in the hands of organization. Organization can change it accordingly. The very first is value system. Value system of the founders and those at the helm of affairs has important bearing on the choice of business, the mission and objectives of the organization, the business policies and practices. Whatever the value system of the organization is, the whole business will run on that, and the image of business will also create according to the value system of that particular business or organization. For example, Tisco incorporated its social responsibility to customers, employees, shareholders, society and the people in article of association, and this is due to the value system of J.R.D. Tata and the acceptance of it by persons at the top of the business domain. So, now the social responsibility is an identity of this business, and this was the value system. This social responsibility was the value system of this organization. and it had created the image of organization that TISCO is an organization which focuses on the all time on the social responsibility. Next is management structure. Some complex management structure and styles delay in decision making, and the quality of board of director is a vital element. There are some companies with highly qualified and responsible board. Some companies have dishonest and unscrupulous board. So, the management structure is basically going to affect the organization at large, because this management is all which is indulge in every activity. This management is going to be indulged in policy formulation, the policy implementation, the value system of the organization is also decided by the management. So, this all management structure is going to affect the organization at large. For example, in some companies like Wipro, majority of shares are held by promoters, and in case of Tata group of companies, the share of promoter is very vulnerable. Financial institutions had large shareholding in many Indian companies. So, this is all about the management structure of a company, that how the company or the management has divided the capital structure and all over the things. Next is human resources. Skill, quality, morale, commitment, attitude of people contribute to the strength of enterprise, and employee resistance to change is a barrier to the growth of organization. So, what a business has to do, it has to introduce change, because change is very much required for the sustainability of organization and in the market. So, organization has to introduce change, but it has to introduce in such a way that this resistance to change of employees reduce. We have to introduce change, but in such a way people less resist to change and they easily accept whatever is coming, and this is possible only when we will tell our human resources, we will already inform our human resource, our employees, that the change, that how that change is beneficial to them and how that change is going to contribute in the success of organization, then only this resistance to change will start decreasing actually. Involvement, initiative of people vary from organization to organization. Okay, like for example, John Towers MD, Rover Group observes that Japanese company of 3000 employees is 3000 process improvers, such situation cannot be found in an Indian company. In Indian company, we rarely found employees with a high level of morale and motivation, who are ready to change, who are ready to take the steps which are for the benefit of the organization. There is vast difference in the individual interest and the organization interest, and this basically creates a problem with Indian companies. Next is company image and brand value. Image of the company plays a significant role while raising finance, forming joint ventures, soliciting marketing intermediaries, entering sale or purchase contracts, launching new products, etc. And brand equity is also relevant in the same way. A company's image and the brand value affects and have consequences in the long run. If a company is having a good image, having a good brand value, new companies and joint ventures will be welcomed. New companies and other firms will always be ready to join hands with your organization if your brand image, your company image and brand value is good. If your company image and brand value is not good, at the time of requirement even you may not find a suitable option in the market. Your customers sorry your customers focus a lot on the image of the company and the brand value of the organization while choosing the product or service of a particular company. Next is physical asset and facilities. Physical resources such as plant and equipment, facilities and financial capabilities of a firm determine its competitive strength, which is an important factor for determining its efficiency and unit cost of production. If organization is having good facilities and have good physical assets, its overall cost of the production may reduce, and if organization is not having the same, it may lead to increase in cost of production, and increase in cost of production will ultimately increase the cost of product. And with the increase of cost of product, a customer preference might change, because if you and your competitor is producing the same product, your cost of product is high and your competitor is providing the same product with the same features and same quality at a lower cost. So, your customer will shift to your competitor, and that will lead to a negative point for your organization. Your market share will reduce gradually. So, a business have to focus a lot on the physical assets, the plant and equipments, the machineries, all the things, so that it may run the manufacturing process very smoothly without any difficulties or delay, and which may and it can also help the organization in reducing the unit cost of production, and that saving of money, that the money the organization has saved, it can invest in some else, like that money can be used for development of employees, for training of employees, that money can be used for introducing new technologies, for new machines. Next is research and development. Research and development and technological capabilities determine a company's ability to innovate and compete and lead in the market. If an organization is allocating funds in the research and development department, so this department will search whatever the changes are coming in the environment, and it will suggest the production team to introduce something new. And when an organization or a business will introduce something new, it will lead in the market, and people will prefer its product and services. Without research and development, no organization can sustain in the market in today's scenario. Next is intangibles. Intangible factors like strategy, innovation, positive work environment are some examples of intangible factors. Your copyrights can also come under this, and these factors are indeed important and can have a significant impact on the overall success of any organization. If an organization is having a positive work environment, then more employees will attract to your organization. There will be more employees, and employees with a good skill set. And it will also help in increasing morale of employees. A positive, so here you can see there is one intangible asset named positive work environment, and how it is helping an organization in leading. It is attracting skilled employees, it is helping in increasing morale of employees, and if the morale of employees will high, they will give their best to the organization, and it will also lead to the retention of employees, and which will ultimately help in reducing the employee turnover. So, so in this way you can see these intangible factors. A positive work environment cannot be seen, the strategies and innovations cannot be seen, but these are the intangible factors. They are affecting your business a lot in indirect way. Next is competitive advantage. Competitive advantage refers to the factors that allows a company to produce goods and services better or more cheaper than rivals. These factor allows the productive entity to generate more sales or superior margins compared to its market rivals. Like if we talk about the Apple, the Apple company, if we talk about its competitive advantage, so they are having innovative products. They are having products which are not copied by anyone of the tech firm. So it is having the competitive advantage of the Apple. There are so many firms which are who provides a better quality products or providing the similar product. But what will make you different is your competitive advantage, and a competitive advantage helps the business to sustain for the long run, because your competitor is not able to provide the same to your customers. So, your customers will sustain with your product or the service. So, today we have seen all these internal environment factors that we have seen earlier: value system, management structure, human resources, company image and brand value, physical asset and facility, research and development, intangible, and the competitive advantage. So, these are all the factors which are under the control of a business organization. Organization can decide the future by controlling all these factors and changing all these things time to time as per the requirement of the business environment. And this will also lead in the lead to help the business in sustaining and gaining the competitive advantage, like we have studied. There are so many examples for these internal environmental factors. And now let us see the external environment. These factors, the micro and macro environment, are said to be the complex factors, because somewhere internal is under the control of business, but external is not under the control. These are the factors according to which a business is supposed to change. A business has to take in internal environment. Business is deciding that how these factors are going to be, what is my value system, what will be my management, will be the management structure of my company. All these factors are and components are decided by the organization. But when we talk about the external environment, these factors are not under the control of business. Business does not decide about this. These factors actually affect the business directly or indirectly, and business takes the actions or make the strategies accordingly. So, in the upcoming lecture we will discuss about the external environment. Thank you.